And our survivors, if you could come stand behind the podium, I would appreciate that. Everyone can come in. Don't be afraid. Come on in a little closer. We don't bite.
Sure you don't.
Carol, Erica, Raphael, if you could come here. Hector, Daniel, and Rosemary.
Why is no one so close to me?
I have to get my glasses on. Not good anymore. Hello and good morning. My name is Lois Blevins, and I'm the founder and the president of the National Center for Citizen Safety. We are better known as NextSafe. The NextSafe organization is very grateful for your support of our mission and with your attendance today. The center's mission is to promote public safety and awareness in response to the epidemic levels of acts of domestic terrorism occurring on our homeland. We offer resources as well as bring survivors together across the nation. Please visit our website, which is listed in your brochure in the race packet you received today. Please pass this critical information on to your friends and family. Let's make this public safety campaigns as familiar as what you better know as stop, drop, and roll that we've learned all over the years. Many thanks to our incredible sponsors, our volunteers, and our speakers for the heartwarming support that are making this race a success. A special thank you also goes out to my NextSafe interns. If you would, raise your hands, guys. My NextSafe interns, hi. They work endlessly all summer. What you see is really all of their hard work. So thank you to all my interns. How does everybody like their t-shirts? Kind of a different look? Yeah? I like the Lacoste, right? Really wonderful. A big thank you goes out to Wanda and Wayne Buchan of Lacoste. They were unable to be here today, but my heartfelt gratitude goes out to them for donating these fabulous t-shirts. Again, please visit some of our vendors and our sponsors, frequent them outside of this race in the festivities area, and let them know that you appreciate their support with this particular race. We invite also everyone to stay for a post-race award ceremony where we will award the top overall runner and also the top runners in multiple age categories. Our short pre-ceremony program right now will honor several of our survivors from the Oklahoma and Boston Marathon bombings, the 9/11 attack, and the Navy Yard and Perry Hall High School active assailant incidents. Our first speaker is Hector Hernandez, who is the Deputy Special Agent in charge with the United States Secret Service. Hector began his federal career in Oklahoma with the Social Security Administration in 1989. And later was transferred to a field office in Dallas, Texas in 1990. After having worked in Texas, Hector still had many ties to his friends in the Alfred P. Murray building. On April 19, 1995, the Oklahoma incident occurred, and on that tragic day, Hector felt a call to duty. Having had several friends in that federal building, he served as a first responder to the incident. Mr. Hernandez's bravery in aiding in the aftermath was unmatched. He worked long hours with search and recovery and going through an extremely emotional aftermath. Hector worked endlessly to recover the fallen. Hector was not only a survivor, but lost many good friends that day. Hector?
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Again, Hector Hernandez with the Secret Service. I'm the Deputy Special Agent in charge of the Secret Service Training Academy here in Laurel, Maryland. And it is an honor and a privilege to be here again. This is my second time, and I want to give a special thank you to Lois Blevins. And I think at this point, I've been involved in many, many types of events like this, and there's so much that goes into planning this, into organizing it, all the logistics, the operational requirements, just the last minute details from the waters all the way to timetables, you name it. And I think Lois deserves a round of applause from all of us. I'd also like to give a special thanks to Erica for being with us again to show not only her support but just her love and her care for this type of event. and for the cause. Also for one of the speakers we're going to have, Rafael, too, and some of the other people that I just can't mention by name, but I just want to thank you so much for being here. So Survivor Strong is, again, as Lois mentioned, this is an organization that is basically designed for domestic terrorism awareness. As Lois mentioned, I was a young agent in the Dallas field office when April 19, 1995 occurred. Being a first responder there, it was, I didn't lose anything physically. I just lost my innocence that day, and I think the country lost its innocence. That was the beginning of a whole new culture that we have in this country. The first time that we had a domestic terrorist attack, aside from Pearl Harbor, and it was a homegrown terrorist that did that. And it left us all bewildered as to how could this happen in this wonderful country that we live in. And I didn't know, but it left me with lingering symptoms of that day. And it took me a long time to move forward. And I think that's something that we can never ever understand for people who have truly been victimized by this. And so my heart and my prayers still continue to go out to Erica and all the rest of the people that have been victimized by this and the surviving families. That fateful day, 68 people lost their lives, but millions and millions of lives were affected. And that's what domestic terrorism does. It may put out a life in that moment, but it literally affects millions and millions of lives forever. Since 1995, the incidents can go on and on and on. We can all mention them, unfortunately, for hours of the things that have happened since then. As recent as all the shootings in Dallas, in Baton Rouge, and we can go on and on. I consider all those domestic terrorist events. What we need is we need education. We need awareness. We need legislation. We need a real change. And we got to take America back. I don't believe that these type of acts should define who we are and what we can be. I believe that these type of acts build our character and make us even stronger. I normally boast about what we do in the U.S. Secret Service. Our mission is to protect. And I've done that job for 25 years now. We've got students here that are getting ready to take on that endeavor. We have staff members here that have also done it like me. And I can just tell you, Erica, I wish I had been there for you to help you. But now we're here to help you. And we're here to help the rest of the survivors. And so with that, I want to make sure that everybody knows that what you're here for is something really, really important. And I believe it's a movement. I believe it's a cause that if we continue to do these type of events, it will catch fire. And we will take America back. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Erica Branick, another amazing survivor, is here with us today, and her mother, Carol Downing, who also is a survivor. Erica was at the finish line at the Boston Marathon on April 15th, 2013, when the unimaginable occurred. In light of her tragic experience with terrorism, Erica continues to give back to the community, teaching preschool children about community awareness, safety, and diversity. Erica is just finishing writing a book, an adolescent book, focused on helping children understand that when troublesome things happen to you, it's not going to defeat you. The main character is a dragonfly, which Erica loves, which symbolizes change for some, but for Erica, it represents strength over adversity. The book will epitomize the struggles Erica has gone through on her survivor journey. Carol, Erica, if you please come up.
Thank you so much. Keep my glasses on so I can keep myself from crying too much. I'm honored to be back again this year to speak at this amazing event. And I want to thank Lois for all of your hard work and all the interns for putting this event together. And events like these do so much to bring awareness to a topic that's not as rare as it used to be. Unfortunately, being a survivor of terrorism is becoming more and more common. And even after personally experiencing the worst kind of hatred, I still have faith that things will change. But we cannot sit and wait for our leaders to make this change. We all have a role in bringing about this change. Change begins first with becoming aware of what the problem is and working towards a solution. Lois and Nick Safe are working towards a solution for fighting domestic terrorism in so many ways. By providing training on what to do when shootings and other attacks happen, more people will be known as survivors rather than victims. And now, me being a newly aunt and godmother, I don't want my nephew and my goddaughter to grow up in a world where they're fearful to go to school, where they're fearful to go and play out on a playground, where they're fearful to go to a sporting event. And when we become aware of ways to stop these events before they happen, those that seek to do harm don't win. We win. So I thank you all for coming out and supporting this amazing organization and to help bring awareness to such an incredibly difficult topic, and also for coming out to support those survivors that were impacted by the floods in Ellicott City. It's a very near and dear place in my heart. I grew up there. I was in high school throughout there, and those little impacts that you make of just helping out in any way you can through money or going and helping to clean up make the biggest impact with people. So I thank you all for every effort, no matter how small you think that it is. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next, and we're almost done. Next, we welcome Rosemary Bowery, an amazing mother and advocate who is here to speak with us as well. Miss Bowery is the mother of Daniel Bowery, who on August 27, 2012, was an eager young boy beginning the first day of school at the Perry Hall High School, in Nottingham, Maryland. On that exciting first day, Daniel, along with many of his classmates, were eating lunch and enjoying their new friends when the inconceivable happened. An active assailant entered the cafeteria and opened fire at the students. Daniel survived, thank God, this horrific ordeal after multiple surgeries, and by the heroic act of a school counselor, no other children were physically harmed. Today, Daniel enjoys playing with his dog. He enjoys making tacos and watching the Ravens play football. Daniel will be our official starter this morning as well. Rosemary?
Okay, I'm not really good at this, but I just want to say that Daniel and I are very proud and blessed to be here with all you survivors and all the people that support them, because that is more important than you know. I myself am honored to be able to speak on behalf of such an important cause. No one should have to suffer at the hands of someone else. Everyone deserves the right to feel safe at home, in their schools, and in their community. No one's lives will ever be the same from what happened that day to Daniel. And Daniel was not the only victim that was involved. Every child in that cafeteria, every teacher, every parent, every family, everyone in our community was involved. The violence has got to stop. We need to teach our kids to be safe. We need them to respect themselves and each other, and to just value human life. They need to know that if they hear something or see something or just don't feel right about something, they need to speak up. They need to say something to a parent, to a teacher, to anyone, If someone had spoke up 4 years ago, said something that they knew was going on, the boy who shot Daniel would not have been successful. It is our job as parents to teach these things. This boy was only 15. He needed guidance. We need to recognize the signs. We need to demand to be part of our kids' lives. We need to face their problems and not turn our heads or live in denial. This boy had been contemplating suicide since the age of 10. He had a problem. He had issues. Mental health is such a huge problem in our world, and it needs to be addressed. More people need to step up and be willing to help. They need to know what to do. They need to be prepared, and they need to know how to act on a dime, like the counselor at Daniel's school, who saved God only knows how many lives when he tackled the attacker. He saved someone else's child or someone's parent. He was not going to stop at Daniel. Everyone in that cafeteria was a victim, and everyone in that cafeteria is a survivor, including my son. Not only did he survive, but he thrived. And I'm on the wrong page. Sorry. Daniel loves life, and he makes the most out of every day. He is definitely a survivor. I looked up the definition of a survivor. The first definition reads, "It is a person who remains alive after a horrible event." But I like the last definition I saw. It says, "A survivor is a person who copes well with the difficulties that are in their lives." Everyone here is a survivor. Everyone has learned how to deal with the difficulties, and everyone has made it through. To all the survivors in your life, God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rosemary and Daniel. Last, but certainly not least, I would like to introduce you to Dr. Rafael Matos. Where is Rafael? Dr. Matos, incredible man, is a highly decorated retired veteran who served 20 years as a U.S. Navy officer. His extensive experience is too great to talk here, but I do want to cover a couple things. On September 11, 2001, Dr. Matos witnessed the unthinkable event of the crash of American Flight 77 on the western wall of the Pentagon building, just 3 levels below what used to be his office. After reacting and responding and assisting in the courageous efforts of, again, rescue and recovery, he experienced significant survivor guilt. Before being able to focus his talents at the service of others in the community, most recently focusing on assisting cancer survivors and their families and caregivers, both for the Livestrong and the Ullman Cancer Foundations. As if the 9/11 tragedy wasn't enough to go through, Dr. Matos, yet again, multiple years later, found himself at the face of adversity. Yep, he was at the Washington, D.C. Navy Yard on September 16, 2013, when an active assailant opened fire at 8:20 a.m. in the morning, killing multiple victims and leaving multiple people severely wounded. It's an honor, Dr. Matos.
Morning. How are you feeling today?
Good.
Feeling alive?
Yes.
Hold on to that, okay? Because we never know when the next event is going to happen. You're going to start this race, and you're going to feel, okay, let's get on with it. And then halfway, you're going to feel like, okay, let's really get on with it. And at the end, you're going to feel alive again. When you cross that finish line, you feel like, I did it. On a beautiful morning like this, about 15 years ago, we came to the Pentagon to work, to do our job. And 9/23, everything changed. Everything. We didn't know why. As we were observing what was going on in the World Trade Center, we started thinking, having these thoughts of who does this? And we started thinking of the what ifs. What if they came down here? reports started coming down to the Navy Command Center that the plane was heading towards the DC area. And we started thinking about the scenarios. What are we going to do? Where would it go? White House, a little too small. Maybe it was really hard to see from the air at the speed that they were operating. Capitol building, large, very symbolic, but not too many people working in the building at that time. A lot of the staff are in the buildings around it. And my boss, Captain Bill Cody, sort of think that plane is coming here. We didn't think it was possible. A few minutes later, sure enough, we could feel and hear the roar of those engines coming in, getting closer, and then the explosion happened. Smoke and the fire and everything was like watching a movie. A few minutes after we realized that we were alive, we decided to take some action and help those that were more unfortunate than us. The worst feeling of helplessness came in when we couldn't do anything. But there's some work that had to be done. And we did. And we stayed there for as long as we could to help those that we could help. The impact and the magnitude of the event did not really materialize until that evening. I was watching the news to see that I was part of that. And this feeling of what's called survivor guilt overcame over me, and feeling that I didn't do enough. I could have done better. My self-preservation took over and tried to get out of there. My Navy uniform is kind of like polyester plastic. You can't get that close, and people are telling us to go away. You're gonna get laminated if you get closer. But we did help. In the end, we realized that there is a purpose in life. There is a way that we can realize that we have a gift, a God-given gift, and we need to find what that gift is. What is our purpose? I had a second chance, and I was going to put it into some action. And I started working with cancer foundations, with the Livestrong Foundation, the Allman Cancer Fund for young adults, telling my story because some cancer survivors, caregivers, and family members also get affected by these events that they go through. Somebody that is going through treatment and they're next to them and they don't make it, and then you do, and you start thinking, why me? Look for that purpose. A purposeful life is a well-lived life. You need to live strong. That's why the tagline there, live out loud. Live every day like it's your last, not the first day of your life. You don't know what's going to happen next. But having that purpose and focusing your energy to something that is real. Survivor guilt can give you many lasting, very negative effects, and we have seen in so many people. They lose the appetite for life, but also can have lasting positive effects, giving us that appetite to do more, take care of yourself, live your life in your own terms, okay, every day. Because when there is a reason, you have a purpose, and there's a reason to live, there is no reason to quit. Live strong.
Thank you all so much. It was an honor to meet all of you, have you back again for those that returned, and have you join us here today for this special event, honoring each and every one of you, all of the other survivors out there, as well as the fallen. We are now going to be bestowed with the national anthem, sung by an incredible singer, Kim Swanson. Thank you, Kim.
And you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star
Fabulous, Kim. Thank you so much. Runners, please take your positions down at the starting line to your left. You can walk over the mats. It's okay. Walkers, please stay behind the runners. Wait for the air horn, and good luck to everyone.
Well, I'm going to give it to the organizers here, so we'll have it.